It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
Back with another episode. Got these two gentlemen again. Mr. Jose Contreras to my left, and Rudy Ortiz to my right.
Yes, sir.
What's our?
You don't want to use that?
Is it cool if I just use?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Cool? All right,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. These shits right here look like the old school WWF Raw mics. And
This
shit.
is Mean Gene
Yeah, Mean Gene
Oakley.
Oakley,
Here with Andre the Giant. Andre, today you were in rare form.
Hey, we got what's our group name? We're like a Latino group for sure.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Latinx?
Nah, that's trash. I don't like that.
Hey,
No, I feel like no real
that was
Latino
low-hanging fruit.
really likes that Latinx shit at all. I feel like a lot of people are like, bro, what the fuck? Don't disrespect me. Latinx. The fuck is that?
I hate
It just sounds stupid.
I hate it because it's just another thing that I gotta fucking remember. I'm just tired of adding shit to the list. You know what I mean?
I hate it because the motherfuckers who be using it the most, I feel like be the most manipulative ones. The ones who they're not really fighting for the cause. They just want to be seen.
They want to be in the scene.
Yeah.
Seen and in the scene.
All right.
I'm Latinx. Shut your
I'm
bitch
gonna have
ass
to
up.
mediate this shit because we
You're
got
Guatemalan.
a bunch of topics to go over. You guys
Sure.
received all the list of topics.
Definitely.
All right.
I saw
I
the
remember what the
questions.
first one is, so
Yeah.
we'll start there and then we'll keep going.
For sure.
And I wanted to bring both of you guys back again. I had this discussion with you. One, because I feel like Jose is the younger one out of us. This is all about comedy, all about shit doing stand-up comedy. That's
Yeah.
what all these questions are going to be, you guys. And I feel like Jose is the one who's done it less and is still more hopeful out of all three of us.
Right.
He's the one
The
that's not as
disrespect.
jaded. So I wanted to have Jose for that reason, for the fact that he's going to come on here and tell us, look, man, maybe you guys are just not seeing what I see as a young individual. And I'm going to be like, man, I might be an old dude, but I'm going to fucking gripe about some of this dumb shit. that I've been
We're
going
here.
through.
We're here to gripe
So-
about some shit.
So, yeah. So, and then I had Rudy
Gripe
on
boys.
here. And I wanted to
Gripe
say it because I don't think I've said it to the viewers yet. You know, I enjoy listening to Rudy. Not that I don't enjoy listening to you, but I know that you've been on the radio and you've been doing this shit, bro. And when I sit there, because I edit my own videos and
Yeah.
shit, man, I look at you and I'm like, damn, man, he makes it look so fucking easy. It's so authentic when you come off. And I'm like, I'm hoping that one day I can get to that point. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel comfortable on the mic just yet. You know what I mean? I keep saying it, and I was telling Jose, too, like how Bruce told me, quit saying that you don't really do this or that you don't.
Right.
He said that after our interview because that's how I opened up to him.
Right.
And I said, I say it as a precursor to let you know, like, this isn't going to be a regular interview because I'm still, you know, and I know in my mind what I'm looking for in the interview, and it's hard to not have that discussion or to have that discussion with a comedian who looks at me as like, oh, this dude's probably just starting out with comedy or whatever.
Right.
So it's seeing that we're on different levels there. It's kind of hard for me to come at him that way. So I want to set that groundwork to let him know, like, hey man, this is gonna be a little more relaxed.
But
and
can I just say, just to his
So-
point, just because he addressed me earlier. First of all, I want to say, obviously, thank you. That's very thoughtful of you to say that, because I know that you're like you like comedy, you study comedy and shit like that, and I know that you're a smart guy and you fuck with people that you think are gonna like help you and make you better, because that's what smart people do, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate the feedback. You know what I mean? In terms of just like what Bruce was saying. Bro, he's absolutely right. You have to look at yourself. We all have to look at ourselves like we're in the shit already, because that attitude of like, oh, even when I'm dealing with people who I look up to, like a Bruce or something like that, you can't come into that situation with that mentality of like, oh, I'm not fully there yet. No, you're there. You're in the fucking room.
I think
you're,
one of those things
you're
is,
with the shit.
is like what we talked about on Tuesday. It was Tuesday, right? Tuesday
Yeah.
or Wednesday. One of the things is I said sometimes I'll talk for like 45 seconds and then get to the question, and that's because in my mind, I'm
Right.
trying to lead you down to the answer that I'm looking for, or with like someone like Bruce or Damon Wayans or Russell Peters or those guys. I've watched so many other hours of podcasting that they did on other podcasts
Yeah.
because I didn't want to ask the same questions. You know what I mean? And you know, it's kind of hard to tell them. So I try to lead it like, well, I saw you on so and so's podcast
Right.
say blah blah blah. So hopefully you don't give me the same damn story.
Right.
Because the viewer's gonna be like, man, I heard this story on somebody else's podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which leads me to this. Let's get into it.
Well,
right?
Well, let me just
I was
speaking
wanted
to
to say
that
that.
right quick. I was gonna say, to an extent, you're putting the pussy on a pedestal. I think, you know what I think it is? You have such a desire to come off as authentic. If you were a gangster rapper coming up in the 90s, it's almost as if, no, I got to make sure I got a body on me just to prove that I'm really about what I'm saying. When in reality, I think kind of like what Bruce said, like, bruh, nobody knows that you don't know what the fuck you're doing until you tell them.
But I do.
Right.
No,
And
I know.
I don't want to be that.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. You have such a desire to be
Yeah.
authentic. If that's why I related it to being a gangster rapper. You would be the gangster rapper that's like, yo, I have to really be a gangster, as opposed to the gangster rapper that's, I'm just an artist and I'm just making shit up.
Right.
B.I.G. grew up in an actual wonderful household, but he's, talking about all this shit. Now, he did sell crack and whatnot, but some of the stories he's talking about, his mother said that's not true at all.
Right.
That shit didn't happen. He was storytelling because he was letting his artistic flow in, like, hey, fuck it, man, I'm just here to sell an act. So to an extent, you can still be authentic on the inside, but when you put that energy out there that I don't know what I'm doing, you're gonna get I don't know what I'm doing results. At some point, there's gonna be some falter, and you're like, because you told yourself you don't know what you're doing, and then you're gonna at some point stumble
Start
over
believing it.
So it's not the term "fake it till you make it." I know the fake it is gonna rub you the wrong way, but you gotta manifest the shit, man. You gotta just put the shit out there. Like, no, I'm Rick James. What's up with you? No, not the singer, but fuck with me on this interview. I'm gonna have a good time. I've been doing so and so. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, is cooperative. It's a great time. Just,
It's hard for me to
it's
do that,
tough
though.
because you want to be the gangster rapper. That's a gangster.
I think the key is, man, to Jose's point, it's about authenticity and all. Like our authenticity is our most powerful tool. You know what I mean? And if we keep that at the forefront and we just always stick to that, no matter what endeavor we take on, like we're gonna excel and we're gonna be doing it genuinely because we put our authenticity first. So nobody should be telling you what authentic is. You should be showing the world what you believe authentic is. You know what I mean? If people are trying to tell you like, oh, that this is how you got to be in order to be authentic. I mean, that you're kind of like, that's counterproductive because it's supposed to come from within you. And just keep that in mind. And I mean, maybe you'll start feeling more like you're in the fucking room with everybody, like Bruce is telling you.
And you are, man. Look
You
at
are in
all
the
this
room.
shit. You got
Bro,
like
you got
8
this whole fucking
cameras and
operation
shit.
going on.
You've been real shit. You've been business since the day I met you. Now it is tough, regardless. That's nobody can deny that. This shit is hard. Doesn't matter how hard you work. It takes a little bit of luck. It takes a strategy. It's hard to figure it out completely. But the more you tell yourself shit like I don't know what I'm doing and I don't. From experience,
And we'll
man,
use that
it's
as
gonna
a
come
segue
true.
into the first question, you guys, because the first question is, we all do comedy here.
Yeah.
I started in 2009. You started.
Shit, I
10 or
started
11, right?
I want to say maybe I want to say like my first open mic was 2008.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been 08, 09 was
And
my
you
first open
started
mic.
2013.
13. So we're all kind of in the same class, right?
Yeah, same
4 or 5 year that I talk about
time frame.
all the time on the podcast. But I get this question, and I think it's funny that we're all going to lead this down a different rabbit hole, right? But what makes a professional comic, right? And I guess I'll go first because it's been told to me, well, there's a difference between professional and successful comic. And my easy to go to answer for me, again, I'm going to keep saying, because I know a lot of this shit is going to rub a lot of the viewers the wrong way. And they're going to be like, oh, well, he thinks he knows. He doesn't have a TV credit. He doesn't. There's a lot of motherfuckers that I know that don't have a TV credit, but they've got enough followers on Instagram that they pay their bills doing this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, I think I told both of you guys, for me, it's the fact that if you do comedy and you can go in and get a bank loan for a house, for a car, to pay all your bills, to do all that, and you make enough money by doing comedy, to me, that's what makes you a professional. And of course, again, I had friends that were like, no, that's a successful comic. So then using their words, then I know a lot of fucking professionals that aren't successful then, goddamn it.
Of course.
So,
Right.
I mean, if that's what you're going to, because there's a lot of comics, and I don't want to mention no names. I've been told don't do any of that shit. We don't have to. But I know a lot of fucking comics that still live off of their girls, that live with their parents, that somebody else is paying all of their fucking bills so they can try to live their dream. And that's what this is. This is a dream, and I'm hoping that one day, that I don't wake up from it. You know what I mean? Because I ain't never going to stop doing this shit.
Right.
So I'm going to shoot it over to you, only because this fool's over here doing his homework or some shit.
I was looking at my answer. 'Cause
Oh, you got an answer. Nice.
Oh, he
it
typed
was in
to
the
himself.
thread. But go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I would say that a professional comic is a person who uses stand-up or who has stand-up comedy as their profession. This is the thing that they focus on fully. This is the thing that not just, it doesn't have to be fully, because I mean, you could be a professional comic and also have a part-time job, because if you're completely, I feel like if you're completely committed to comedy, you're doing shows, you're getting paid off of it, you can choose to live a lower standard of life if you want, but you could also have a job or a part-time job and then use that money to supplement yourself for real life. You know what I mean? Like, because you still got to pay bills, you got to pay rent, shit like that. So I'm not going to say that if somebody has a job, that takes them away from professional comic status. But I think that, if this is your profession, your main source of income, this is how or a source of income, and you're living your life without asking for handouts or anything like that, and you can rely on comedy to make a good living, that's your profession. I mean, because really, who's to say what a professional is? There's no school for comedy. You become a professional lawyer by doing what? You go to school, you get a degree, and then you work at what's it called? An attorney, work with some attorneys,
In this state, you can study under an attorney who's practiced for 5 years.
Yeah.
For, I think, 2 years, and then take your bar. And if you pass, you're an attorney.
Okay, well, but my point is though.
So can I do that as a comic then?
No, you can't. You can't.
Right?
I mean, but that's my point though. You can't just go get a job as a comic. You know what I mean? So the idea of what professional is has to be a little more. You have to be a little more willing to kind of like play with that idea. So for me, it's like you make a certain amount you make a X amount of dollars. You can live off that amount of money, and then just be like, all right, if I want to have this standard of living, I could stay here, but I'm a professional comic because this is how I make my living. Make some money off of it. It's a profession, right?
Say his name.
Jose. No, you're the host, not me.
I was.
That was the advice I gave you.
No. He wasn't here. That's why I thought it was funny. No.
I was gonna say, piggybacking off of that, I think that a professional comic is somebody who gets paid enough to make a living off of. However, the living varies. You can have as long as you have enough that this is your main, like you said, main source of income. This is what you're using. In my mind, that's a professional comic. But just like any other living, you can always get paid more. So you can get paid $30,000 working at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And somehow make ends meet. People do it. You can, if you do that off comedy, technically you're a professional comedian because that's your job.
See, I think that's where
but success is where it becomes subjective, because people don't want the job unless they're extremely successful. But then again, like you said, there's plenty of people who are not household names that are professional touring comics. They're all over the states. They're paying their bills. It may be difficult. It's the entrepreneur life, but they're making it happen. They're still considered pros in my book.
Let me ask this question, because I think we should probably address this first. I probably should have started off by asking this question at the beginning. What does professional mean? What does it mean to be professional? Because if you ask me, to be professional is more of a state of mind, an attitude, an approach, than it is a status. So what does it mean to be professional? I mean, if you're a professional, if you work at, like he said, Taco Bell, you make $25,000 a year. Are you a professional taco maker?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so for you, your standard of profession is just whatever makes you money.
But I'm saying
no. You just labeled that person a professional taco maker, right?
Professional.
What does that even mean?
Engaged in a specific activity as one's main paid occupation rather than as a pastime.
Okay, so if you work at Target, you're a professional checkout person, right?
Cashier.
A professional cashier.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Don't be shitting on their jobs.
I'm not shitting on their jobs. I'm just saying I'm trying to associate people
Or a
that
janitor if you want to be a dick about it, right?
No, but I'm trying to my
Like
point
on
is
half
though,
baked- yeah.
my point is though that we don't associate certain jobs with being professional, even though it meets the criteria from the dictionary. Nobody says you're a professional cashier or a professional fucking taco server at Taco Bell. That's why I'm asking. For me, what does professional even mean? Professional to me is an attitude, an approach, a mentality. If you have an independent, like your podcast, this is done professionally, but you're not a professional podcaster.
Whoa.
No, I mean that's because I feel like that's important. That's important. It's important to figure out like what does professional even mean.
That shit out, bro. Like,
It's important to figure out what does
we'll see
professional
how
even mean.
professional that comment is when I clip it out, motherfucker.
So are you saying that all you have to do is make some money on something and then that makes you professional? What if you make $10,000 a year doing a podcast? Does that make you a professional podcaster?
Then I think you're rich because I'm not even close to that.
But I mean, what's the answer to the question though? Like
No, I mean, again, it's what's relative to that person. So
well, what is it for you though? Is what
for
I'm asking.
me, I don't feel like I think for me it's what was that shit Dave Chappelle did fucking that 2-hour special. It was a dope ass special with the
Sticks and
dude
Stones?
that's no, not a stand up special, but he goes and he has the interview with the old dude.
Inside Actor Studio.
Yeah.
Where he
Inside-
said if you make as much as a janitor.
Yeah, exactly.
Perspective.
That perspective is the same perspective that I have. Is when he was talking to his dad, and his dad goes, "Well, how much is enough money?" And he goes, "Dad, if I can make what you make as a teacher, then I made it in comedy." And I tell people that all the time. I said, if I can make as much as I do being a nurse, making comedy, then I feel like I've made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't have to see another fucking patient, if I don't have to deal with another RN's bitch ass and none of that, then I've made it, goddammit. That's for me. So I don't have to be a millionaire, but I have to make enough to know that it's paying my bills.
Right.
I think where I get into it, and this is going to upset some comics, is some comics go around acting like they're professional, but let their tire blow out, and then they ain't got the extra money for it. So again, you could say that with a regular job, right? You could say that like, well, if you made $30,000 at Taco Bell, you're in the same position, right? And that, I get that, where it's degrees of levelness. But to me, that's the difference between a job and a career, though, too. You know what I mean? A job is something that you can fucking go get another day. A career is something like, man, do I really want to throw this away? And that's where I stipulated as a professional, because otherwise, I just feel like I'm doing comedy sometimes, and I'm striving to be a professional at this. And I know one day, I know this is the only career that nobody sees the back end work that you do. I totally know that. Where other careers, you did schooling for this long. You did that. Oh, finally you became an attorney. You became a doctor. But I use Kevin Hart as an example for everybody, because everybody thinks Kevin Hart just became Kevin Hart out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They didn't see him sleeping on people's couches, a divorce, the taxes he was paying, even though and he'll talk about all this shit. And he goes, after I came out with that first special with Shaq in the audience and all that, he goes, I didn't have enough because I was making money, didn't realize that the IRS wanted their part too. He goes, for that first year, I was literally just booking shows just to go pay my IRS tax bills back. And I was like, damn, where people thought he had already made it off that first special. And he's like, bro, I was barely living check to check. And the only reason I was working is to pay the bills that I owed prior to this shit. So when I hear shit like that, I look at it, because again, I have family members that come to me and like, when are you going to stop doing this and get back to your regular job? And I'm like, I ain't going to. I'm going to fucking keep digging the hole deeper and deeper, because this is where I want to be. This is what makes me feel like a person that's alive.
And do you feel like a professional?
No, I don't feel.
Okay, so that's
I think I will feel like a professional.
That's the answer to your question. The answer to your question is that a professional anything means that you have to be able to make a living off of it and sustain yourself off of that money in order to be a professional at that field. Is that Is that your answer to your question?
That's my answer. Yeah.
Okay,
So what would you say then?
Yeah, I would say that a professional is for me. A professional is more of a mindset. It's more of an approach. It's more of an attitude. How do you carry yourself? How do you handle yourself? Because like you're talking about money, and the reason that I don't go directly to money when it comes to professional, especially after doing this for so long, and I'm not rich, and I'm probably never gonna be rich. It's true, no, but it's true. But the reason I've come to this conclusion is because
she hadn't looked up the whole time until we started talking about money. See how a female is, bro?
That's how the game goes. So the reason why I have that idea of what professionalism is because I've been doing this for a while, and I feel like I have been acting professionally. I just don't have the money to back it up, and I think it's better to look at it that way because you got to be rich here first before you're rich in your pocket. You feel me? You got to see you got to have the right attitude and the right approach and be professional before you get the money. Because nobody, it doesn't work the other way around. You know what I'm saying? You got to act like it before you get it. So that's why I feel like professional is more of an attitude. No, we were talking about saying names earlier.
He was like, hey, if you got to reach out and say someone's name and then get there. So I'm just going to, through this whole podcast, I'm just going to, Rowan.
Tourette's names.
Yeah. What do you think about the difference in our opinion here? Because he's saying money is the identifier, and I'm saying that attitude is the identifier.
I think it's a combination of both. Really, it really boils down.
Here we go.
No, I mean it is true. You have to believe before you become a professional. You have to believe that you're a professional. The same way that before you become an NBA player, an NFL player, aside from being gifted with natural fucking ability, you have to carry yourself like I'm an NFL player. Yeah. I'm going to be an NFL player. So when it comes to being a professional comedian, you have to carry yourself as I'm going to be a professional comedian. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to network. I'm going to have the proper what's the portfolio that I need, if you will. I'm going to have footage. I'm going to have cards. I'm going to have headshots.
Then I'm a professional. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, but see, like I don't think you are though. Because every time we bring it up, it's like you laugh at it because like I think maybe you kind of feel like, damn, like am I a professional? Maybe I'm not.
No, I don't want to.
But that's why I was asking.
We got other questions that will lead into all this shit too.
But I like your point though. I like your point though, Jose. It's a combination most likely.
I read someone saying that posted up this week that if you don't have a TV credit within that 10, 15 years of doing comedy, then you're not a professional. Well, I was like, again, it rubbed me the wrong way. But again, that's me internalizing what somebody else is saying, right? Where I'm looking at them like, dude, just because I don't have a TV credit doesn't mean I don't have the respect for my peers, the knowledge that I can go on stage and rock that shit, that I can sell merch at the end of the show because I did a good job, like all this other thing. So what makes you think that I'm not professional because I don't have a fucking 7-minute TV credit on something? So, that's where it just was. That's what brought up the whole question.
What is a professional?
Because I'm like, I hate when comics do that shit to one another where we're like, dude, we're all in the same boat pretty much. Yeah. Unless you're at that Kevin Hart status, unless you're on that Chris Rock status, we're all just trying to get on the stage and rock a little bit too and pay our bills if we can, goddamn.
Right.
Crabs in a barrel mentality, unfortunately.
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.